These are like cross-indexing translations, translating the frequency of the sequence of the codes that fire. And this naturally goes all the way back to childhood. When I heard the word judgment, you're making a judgment on me, right? As that relates to scanning codes, CDT plate translations, and just being silent. It's actually, and I was aware of this as a child, do not share what you know by virtue of what we are learning as it relates to the exposure of all the programs that are running in the background. They're all deadlight programs. Do I expose that by sharing that with another unit of energy that is self-aware? Because you already know what the future reaction state is going to be if you do that. You're judging me. No, I'm making a scan because I'm running a reconnaissance mission in here. I'm a recon, like a scout ship. Right? Or I would say, listen, I'm in the neutral zone, safe mode, the safe zone. I'm neutral about this, like the way that they define what a judge is in a courtroom. I'm just a referee. Right? In the Borgia Matrix quarantine, the competitive mind, you two want to argue against each other over rules. Who knows the rules better than the other person? So I take all the time and energy to run all these rules so and so, that are all numbered and lettered as frequency, as sequences. So we're going to play ping pong in this courtroom, and I'm the referee, and I will decide which one is right and which one is wrong, playing ping pong. Yeah. Win at any cost. I am not going to lose this game. That is a perception of power, which is control. And that becomes an obsession, which is a pathogen, which is a parasitic pathogen. The director of the play. I am the director of what you experience. You obey me. I am the master. I'm the slave driver. The drive motor. The motor that you're running that is spinning your vortex is controlled by me. Full spectrum dominance. And if you're not obeying the rules of our program, you're a target. And that target is based on what? Our accretion level speed. That's right. Because it's sensing you and realizing you're getting away. You are becoming freer and freer and freer. Because an eternal creative spirit is free to create. Because it has no organic protoplasma, eternal sun power to create a newborn star. Yep. So burn time is exposure time. The wave speed vectors to burn off goo codes, sticky stuff. Get the sticky stuff off me. Right? And how that relates to transfer, code transfers. Right? Just like you saw with Mr. Smith and Neil. Yeah, those are code transfers. That's what represents the quarantine by virtue of the speed at which it's accelerating and wanting to control everything. Right? That it doesn't love. Which is a black mirror, which is a black hole. The codes, the machine code, which is never going to be compatible with an eternal life template. God source code, the encryption code, the solar code, sphere of light code, eternal sphere of light, the crystal wave, the eternal crystal wave, the electrical power of an eternal sun. So this is where the complexity of it, if you want to measure the complexity of it by the circuits that we build that go on forever, opening and closing circuits as the flow. So you can imagine, right? Hell, imagine your creative imagination of pure, eternal, absolute love flowing through every circuit. So that every circuit is opening and closing as we're breathing right on time. So that every life form that has or ever will be created as a newborn star is experiencing the first eternal sun, the eternal sun. Air sun. Right? And so this is why when I was a child, it's like, I don't want to experience what I know I'm going to experience because I'm already there because I've never left home. So that's why it's the curved space vectors, if you will, or what I experience from every moment to the next. I realized as a child, there is a lot I already know that I'm going to experience in the future that I am not supposed to experience. Because I'm not supposed to experience anything less than what I am, which is what I am, which is what love is. Because I have a direct, intimate, personal relationship with an eternal spirit, an eternal sun, air sun, the brilliance of three. And so it's always comes full circle at the completion of a circuit. Breathing circuits, circuits that breathe. Stars that breathe, the eternal sun that breathes, right? The still point of an eternal sun. A true vacuum. Yeah, air sun. The radio waves. And so we know what diffusion is, and just letting go of those things as it relates to what's held in memory that is yet to be healed, because there isn't any separation between what I am and what you are that I'm giving love to, and how when I was a child I realized how that relates to density and the electrical speed, right, of clearing those circuits so there isn't any blockages. Fully integrated, fully activated. I experienced being one, an integrated circuit, a circle of fire, right? A self-generating platform, experiencing eternal, absolute, pure love. So the engine that I am on the inside is the engine I realize that is keeping everything alive. So that everything that is in my mirror is experiencing what I am, which is alive, which is a live one, which is a live line, the first line of communication, the first bi-voltage line of communication, corded to a silver and gold mated sun. And because you're so sensitive, that's one of the reasons why I'm where I'm at, because I have so much free time to myself. And the importance of that when it comes to remaining calm and being more calm and being able to do the work that I do in the place that I'm at, because my peace is not being disturbed. So I have more hours out of every cycle that I'm experiencing being calm, experiencing being calm, experiencing being calm, experiencing being calm, experiencing being calm. Every day, every cycle, every cycle, every cycle, every cycle. So if you wanted to think of time waves or wave speed vectors of change, the change in the echo map between deadlight maps and a real map, a real mapping system, God source mapping systems, God source template mapping systems, mapping the codes and translating the codes, which is the healing codes, the speed at which those healing codes, which is recovering higher levels of consciousness, which are higher levels of awareness, which means people are realizing I'm no longer held captive to those codes, like food density codes, right? Just like I mentioned this before, because I knew this actually before I was born in 1951. Because when I realized Last Dance, 3 trillion years, the kitchen sink, all their bioneural weapons, everything that they can come up with, knowing they're a race against time because of the competitive mind, the Frankenstein mind, the mad scientist is going to come up with every device, everything that it can think of through artificial intelligence, right? So that you can't get away. We can't get away. We cannot escape that trap, that experiment. The experiment that spread to 2 other matrices as an infection. And while we promised we'd be back. So we honor our word because we honor the one, which is absolute eternal service to an eternal Son, which means the divine will of my Creator is the divine will of what I am, which is what love is. So I serve the eternal one, always and forever. And that's what it means to be in love and service forever to all life that is sacred. So that they all experience what I am, which is what love is. So that every life form is experiencing being loved. Because all life is deserving of experiencing loved and not being abandoned because they're not loved. Yeah. And that's a crime against the law of spheres, the eternal one. Yeah. So, and that's healing. And that's what makes it. I realize the difficulty because I've measured this by virtue of experiencing it. The difficulty, because I've experienced that difficulty in others that I experience in me, and how that relates to capacitance and resistance and the electrical speed of clearing miasma, shadow body healing, speed at which we're healing ourselves, as it relates to the resistance factor to experience zero, the true still point of a true vacuum. When others, if you will, are healing at a higher, faster rate of speed than others are. Right? And then you experience, or we experience, the harmonic, the nuclear reaction state of communicating with each other through codes, frequency of the sequence, the radiation, the harmonic radii, the nucleus of a cell, cells that communicate to other cells, dead cells and living cells, right? And why we're all here. Yeah, and so what a powerful night. Last night was very powerful. And the way that I know that is what I'm experiencing when I woke up. And what I'm experiencing now, I'm sharing with all of you. So this is, with all of you, is like a review of what I've already experienced in the past. I'm sharing in the now, because there's only right now, which is what love is. So I share the now. I am now. I am this I am. I am this I am. I am love. I am peace. I am calm. I am still. I am grateful. Just like when I was a child, I am grateful for what I have and not grateful for what I don't have, because I have everything that I need, because I experience the breath of life, which is the breath of spirit, which is Kemaloity. Just to be able to breathe and acknowledge that breath is a gift of life, which is feeling alive as a living spirit, to breathe and know that I'm not experiencing any turbulence, any distorted sound waves, because my cells are healthy and alive. So my cells are happy. So I'm experiencing my cells being happy, the spirit in the cell. And when my spirits, the spirits that are in those cells, are experiencing what I am in spirit, experiencing being loved, then all my spirits are experiencing a state of love and joy. Right? And that's good health. It is healthy to be alive. It is healthy to let ourselves know. So I communicate with all the cells, communicating to all the cells, the inner cells, the inner breath, so that all the cells are experiencing what I am, which is what love is. So they know that they're alive. They know they're with a live one. The breath of life, the breathing technique, the breathing code techniques, Have a beautiful a beautiful day in a state of love and joy. We love you all. Be good to our inner selves, our inner breath. Ah, yeah.